Hi folks, today we're going to take a look at Liberty Troll, where Zachy Boy decides to go to a tax collector's office that is being leased in a privately owned building. And well, the outcome's not only hilarious, but shows him for being a bit of a racist more than we already thought. But before we start today's video, as always, I want to give a special and big thank you to all of my current and new channel members and subscribers. Without your guys' continuous ongoing support, I couldn't keep the channel going, so I want to thank you all personally from the bottom of my heart. And if you guys are new to the channel, please subscribe to the page, leave a like and a comment because it really helps me with the algorithm. And if you can, please consider becoming a member. With all that being said, let's enjoy today's video.
Alright guys, we just got off the elevators here at the new location. Not sure if it's temporary or if this is going to be the new permanent location.
Apologies for the jump cut, but while Zach was filming this footage for his news story, he captured an individual that has special needs. And this person definitely could not give consent to be on his video. So I apologize for the jump cut, but I felt it was necessary to cut them out for their privacy.
I already put the first one, so I believe I have to put the 3, so 900 down.
We got another camera up there.
And then
A nice shot of the American flag sticker. Alright, so then now serving, we got the following customers: driver's license and ID, tags and title. So this is says review us. So if you want to put a good review, bad review, depending on how this goes, you can scan that barcode. It's got an email, bhaines@octaxcol.com. All rows. Hey, how are you?
Hi.
Good.
You can record it here.
Oh, sure you can.
Hmm?
What makes you say that?
Let me go.
Well, we can record in here, sir. It's public. It's a public, public space, public office.
Wrong! No, Zach, you're wrong. You cannot record there. Just because a place is owned by the government or operated by the government or leasing property to the government, it doesn't mean it becomes a First Amendment protected forum. The 1976 case of GREV v. Spock makes sure of that. Not to mention that in the tax collector's office, you're not there to conduct any official business. So at this point, you're just loitering. Because you're not there for any purposes of the tax collector's office. You're not there to pay taxes. You're not there to get a license plate. You're not there to get a driver's license or a permit. Your only purpose there is to annoy these people.
She no money.
Hmm?
Her no money.
Who's that?
She no money.
Who's she? I'm sorry, who are you, ma'am? What's your
The
name?
manager.
What's your name, ma'am? Carol. Carol. Hi, I'm Zach. And who are you, sir? I didn't get your name. What's your name,
I
sir?
can give you information.
Hmm? Do you have a business card?
Hmm?
Do you have a business card? Did you want to speak to me, ma'am?
If you could come out here, please.
I'm good right here. We can talk right
Let me
here.
come.
What can I do for you?
Let me come.
You said we can't record in here?
No.
People have delicate information out.
It's public. It's a public building. I understand that. It's not my intention to get any personal identifying information. I'm here gathering news for, or gathering content for a news story I'm working on.
You're lying.
Orange County tax collector's offices. So I go all the tax collector's offices in the area. So I know what I'm doing. It's not a private building. It's not a private office. It's a public office. So what's the problem?
It's just not right. Film people when they have their information out there.
Well, it's lawful. I'm participating in constitutionally protected activity. I'm not doing anything unlawful. Okay?
Could you slide over, please? This way. This way.
Sorry? Oh, he's getting pictures? I'm sorry.
Now, right here is a prime example of an issue with a frauditor in this building. This is a very small office, and Zach is blocking that young man from getting photos taken to get his state-issued ID or driver's license. Now, we can clearly see this is a small office. He's already shot all he's needed to shoot. The reason why he's there is because he's trying to get the confrontation he needs from staff or from law enforcement to have a good YouTube video. Because if it was just a pass, then nobody's really going to care. But if somebody is a Karen, or they try to violate his rights, or arrest him, or trespass him, then he has a better video to get more views.
Yeah, no worries. No worries.
You wanna go out?
No, I'm not gonna go out. I'll stay out of the way here. Looks like there needs to be an education here.
If anybody needs an education here, it should be you on how to treat people with respect. Now, I am going to jump ahead again because the individual who is special needs does make another appearance in this. And instead of Zach doing the decent thing and cropping them out or blurring them out, he leaves them in there.
I showed you something.
What is it?
I showed you something.
I don't want to leave this area because I'm afraid you guys might shut the door. Who are you, sir?
I need to show you something. The paper.
What's your name? You're with Homeland Intelligence.
Okay, if
Protective
you not
Services.
come, I want to see you the
Sir,
paper.
I don't know who you are.
Is you
Can you
under
just
security here?
de-escalate a little bit? What's your name? I'm asking for your
Listen,
name.
I call my boss.
Okay, that's fine.
He told me, go with him, show the paper.
What is it, a policy you're trying to show me?
You need check.
Well, the
Come,
policy
I'll show
doesn't
you.
trump the Constitution, sir. I'm not interested in the policy. I'm not interested in the policy, sir.
You can stay here. The law will change, okay? If you're not going, I call the police.
Now, I don't know about you, but it looks like this guy just got off the banana boat, and here he is telling
What an asshole. I hate that guy, and so do you.
some free American that he can't do something that he obviously can do. And we're finding this more and more throughout this country, especially in Central Florida, where you get these people who barely speak the native language. This guy can barely speak English, and he obviously is from another country where you don't have a First Amendment, freedom of speech, freedom of press, all those rights that we take for granted here in this country. I just find it odd that this is going on all throughout the country, especially in Florida, and it's starting to seem like this is by design. Your thoughts?
Oh, you were finished. Oh, well, allow me to retort.
Well, my thoughts are that you're being a racially insensitive jerk. The comments you just made are offensive to the Latin community, especially those who come from communist Cuba. They escaped a life of no freedom. They risk their life every time trying to come to this great country. He understands our rights and our freedoms better than you do. You take them for granted. You're doing this just to get money. You're doing this just to get clicks and views and clout on YouTube. This man may not understand the English language as his first language, but he could speak it. He understands it. And your comments are infuriating to anybody of Hispanic or Latin descent.
For you.
Okay, if you can do whatever you need to do, that's fine.
Okay.
Law enforcement hopefully will educate you today. Alright. So I guess now we'll speak to law enforcement. Hopefully they'll educate them on the law. Take them up. Get some good.
And when they put the temporary tag on there, I thought that was it. I didn't know that they...
And who are you, sir, so I can say who I spoke to? You're not going to identify yourself? It's very unprofessional. I'm just saying, you need to learn how to de-escalate a little bit, sir. I'm just over here peacefully taking pictures.
Now, I apologize for all the blur, and I do hope I tried my best to cover that poor person's face. But Zach's going to keep showing them, so I'm just going to jump ahead into where he has a confrontation with the building security of this actual private establishment.
Yeah, I'm recording. You don't want me to record. Who?
the Orange County tax collector.
Well, they work for us.
I understand that.
This is a taxpayer, funded office.
I understand that you're an auditor. Right?
You think I'm an auditor?
Yes.
I'm gathering content for a story.
Okay.
So, this is a public office. Who is he? I know he's security, but do you know his name? He wouldn't identify himself earlier.
He works for them. My boss. We work for the building.
Oh, you're part of the building. Gotcha. And the building's a private building, correct? That's what I thought. Yeah. So I'm not recording out in the private areas, just in the public office.
They're a tenant of ours.
Yeah, but it's occupied by a governmental entity, which all the same rules apply for limited public forum.
I understand.
Now, Zach really needs to brush up on his case laws, because the 1976 case of GREV v. Spock, where the Supreme Court rejected a lower court's argument that just because a place is freely open to the public to visit that is owned or operated by the government, it automatically becomes a First Amendment protected area, which is not true. They established that there is no freedom like that has existed or does exist in constitutional law, stating that just because a place is owned or operated by the government, it's automatically a traditional public forum, which is not the case. This tax collector's office is a limited public forum, and not only that, is in a private building, meaning their security or the building security.
If they ask us to remove you for recording, or you can just stop recording.
Well, hopefully it doesn't come to that. I'm just getting some pictures and video, gathering content for a story. I'm an independent journalist, okay?
You're not even a real journalism. That's right.
I've been very clear about what I'm doing. I'm not interrupting any business. This cannot be considered disruption, according to case law. So I'm just, as a photographer and a journalist, I kind of have to know the rules, where you can go and record and what the trespass rules are between private and public property. And that's, assuming that's a policy.
Yep.
Okay. And what does that say?
It says, it shall be a violation of this policy and procedure to record video and or sound within an OCTC office without the consent of all persons whose voice or images is being recorded.
Well, there is no expectation of privacy in public. That's against case law. And this is this is Orange County tax collector. Okay, yes. So it's not even your policy. The building's policy.
This is their office.
Yeah.
Just for here.
But the policy doesn't supersede the Constitution.
Okay,
I understand that.
Yeah.
This is the second time.
Who are you, sir?
If you're not going,
sir,
I'll call the police.
You go right ahead. That's fine. I'll talk to the police. I talk to them all the time. But what is your name and badge number, sir?
I need to give you information.
You work for the public.
Can we just ask you?
Yeah, you can
politely.
Yeah, you can ask. That's fine. I saw your policy. I understand
it's
that.
It's not my policy.
Well, I understand they have a policy, but again, if the policy is a contradiction to the Constitution, I'm not going to give up my rights just because they want me to stop recording. I'm not disrupting business. I'm not breaking any laws.
Shenanigans.
No.
Shenanigans.
No.
And we're calling shenanigans, folks, because this is not going to violate his constitutional rights. GREV v. Spock even addresses this fact by stating that even the government has the same rights as private landowners when it comes to properties they occupy and lease. They don't own this land, but they do occupy it. They do lease it. And they have the same rights as other tenant that would rent office space from this building. They can have you trespassed. The building itself can have you trespassed. And it would not violate your constitutional rights. You may think that by saying you're a journalist that it will give you carte blanche to do whatever you want. In reality, it does not. You are nothing more than a charlatan trying to pose.
I'll be happy to speak to law enforcement. That's the route he wants to go. Otherwise, I'd like to just finish gathering my news story, and then I'll be out of my own accord. I'm not going to stay here beyond closing hours or all day, so,
Can't do it, man.
All right, well, you guys do whatever you have to do. I mean, I'm trying to be transparent and explain to you what I'm doing.
I understand what you're doing.
Be respectful, but...
I understand. If they ask us to remove you, they've already told you multiple times.
Yeah, but that was my own business. He approached me and told me, oh, you can't record in here. I said, well, sure I can. It's a public entity that's occupying the space, so it's a public office.
In a private building.
Correct. Same rules apply for in the office. If I was to go out into the main lobby area in the private building, they ask me to leave, obviously, then yeah, I have to. It's your rules out there. But in here, it's occupied by a government entity, which which is funded by our tax dollars.
I am.
So,
believe me, I know.
What's your name? You seem like a nice guy. I'm Zach, by the way.
I don't have to tell you my name.
I'm Zach. What's your name? Your first name?
I don't have to.
You don't have to, no. But I mean, it's just a cordial. You know, you work for the public, or you work for. You're on the clock, as you say.
I work for the building.
You work for the building, so private building. So I mean, you don't have to, but you know, I introduce myself.
Nice to meet you.
Even though I don't have to, but nice to meet you.
They're asking you to leave. Or
I
stop
understand.
recording. You have one of the two choices.
Well, respectfully, I'm not going to stop recording, so I'll speak to the police if they want to call them out here. I'll be happy to speak with them. That's fine. I think it's an awful waste of police resources. But do you know who he is at all? His first name?
Nope.
No. Okay.
Nope.
All right. Well, I appreciate being cordial.
Yes.
Sorry we had to meet under these circumstances, but you seem like a nice guy.
It happens. I know.
Yeah. Well, I'm not going to bother anybody. I'm going to stand over here so I'm not in the way of pictures here.
Now, we're going to jump ahead into where the police show up to deal with Zach and all of his shenanigans because, well, let's face it, he's not there for anything else but a police interaction.
Hey, how you doing? Hey, how are you? I'm doing good. 3 law enforcement officers.
Okay. Do you have the policy written or anything just so we can show?
How y'all doing?
Good. How are you, sir?
I'm doing okay.
Hey, I'm Officer McDonough. This is all the other officers here.
Thank you. Can I just get the badge numbers real quick for you?
35567.
Thank you.
16752.
Thank you, sir.
35366.
Appreciate you. Thank you. My name's Zach.
Zach, good to meet you. So the only thing is, I get what you're doing, that's fine. But the problem is when there's a building that has a code and rules and regulations, we do have the authority at that point to remove you if you don't want to be removed.
So let me tell you my understanding of this. So this is a private building, right? But they're subleasing or subcontracting it for this particular office space. So I know that when I leave this office, I turn off the cameras because you can't record, or you don't have to. If they ask you to stop, then you have to out there, obviously. But this is all public. So in public, you know, it's still the same rules apply as it would for any limited public forum.
Okay.
So I'm just gathering content for a story. I'm engaged in constitutionally protected activity.
Okay.
I'm not here to get anybody's private information. Although I could get the footage off these cameras here through a FOIA request if I wanted to. But you know, but I'm just saying it's not really a big deal. Like somebody here recording, it's not just, it can't be considered disruption of business or anything. So, but I'll tell you what I'll be happy to do though. Like once you guys leave, I'm almost done, and I'll head out after you guys. But I just don't want to.
That's not how it works. That's not how any of this works.
I don't want to cause a problem or anything.
No. You've been cool with us. I'm appreciative of that because normally it doesn't go that way. So.
Yeah. But I will tell you, you have my full cooperation. If you do end up going the route where it's like, okay, well, if you don't leave, we'll have to arrest you. At that point, on threat of arrest, I'll leave. So you won't get any pushback from me on that.
Let me just talk to someone in here real quick.
Yeah, sure. How's your day going?
Can't complain, man. It's funny because like the weatherman said it's supposed to rain today, and it's Florida, so I feel like there's a 50% chance every day. So
yeah, it's Florida, you know. If you don't like the weather, wait 5 minutes.
Nah. Okay. I've heard that before. It's actually kind of funny.
They're not working.
Excuse us,
So obviously he's one of the First Amendment auditors. Is he disrupting or causing any issues within the business?
He's just filming everybody, and they got personal information.
Okay.
But I was told to give you a copy of that. Mr. Randolph had that made up because they found case law that they can't do it because of what we are considered.
Okay.
What time for?
I'm just curious because I want to read.
All right. So I think the best way to do it is we'll give him the copy. Are you okay if we give him the copy just so maybe a little education might give him?
Posted out there too.
Okay.
This way he has it, so you know.
Like anything else, we obviously don't want it to blow up into a let's smear police or smear obviously Orange County government. But maybe he didn't know whether he does or not or whatever. Obviously, we'll kind of handle the issue just as long as you're okay with him. I don't know if it's a secured or anything like that.
You can have that. That's for you guys.
Yeah, but if we're gonna get this, him a copy.
You want another copy?
Yeah. I just would like to read it in detail.
Yep.
I'm pretty sure it's not gonna be the last time we deal with this kind of stuff. So yeah.
They go to our offices. It's like
They went to the one off of Jackson one time. The Jackson and Roswell one.
that's our office. We're just remodeling.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah.
Okay, let me get you another copy.
Thank you. Sorry to be a pain.
No, what are y'all gonna do? Just wondering. I'm the manager. Sorry.
So obviously, based on what it's saying, is it's saying that government-controlled access property, or whether it's leased or owned or whatever, you know, there's case law saying that you're not allowed to be here. So we'll give them as a tool of education, just so you know they can do whatever they want to do. But so he understands, like, hey, don't.
Do you want the case law? We have.
Well, no. That's the form that she's given us. Yeah.
That's our policy. Oh, she's giving you the case law
Yeah.
as well.
So basically, what we can do is by giving it to them, hopefully, we can reduce the number of these types of things going on.
Probably not.
I wish it would be that simple, but no. Out of all of these 600 videos I have done on this channel, I can tell you, they won't stop. They will continue because they feel like this is their job. This is their calling. In reality, it's just for a cheap and easy way for them to get clicks and views. Think about it. They could go and say that their rights are being violated and threaten to sue the police departments and the cities and the counties, and they'll get some go-away money. And that's what it always comes down to, is them getting money for harassing people and harassing government employees. They're not fighting for our rights. They're not fighting for their rights. They're fighting to get a free paycheck without having to work.
Probably not, but
yeah,
you know.
I mean, he told y'all he's being all calm and stuff, but he's not leaving when you're asked to. So he's being a pain. It's disruptive.
You're the manager?
Assistant, she's the manager.
Okay.
Yeah.
In the case that he does not want to leave, do you desire criminal prosecution?
Yeah.
Okay. I just have to, it's 2024, weird times.
Yeah.
So
We get, at the very minimum, we want to trespass him.
Okay.
All
right.
They'll
Do you want to read that for a minute,
Another
Ryan?
party, and next time is all they'll do, but that's fine. We'll be ready for him.
You could go. I just want to read it to educate myself.
We're going to jump to where the cops actually speak to him about this case law that the tax collectors have to stop him from being such a prick and to show him that he does not have the right to film here.
How you doing, officer?
What's going on? How you doing?
Good, man. Can I just get your name and badge real quick?
Officer Stang at 3527.
Thank you, I appreciate it. Oh, another one.
Officer Tolley. Yep, this guy's a tyrant.
What? Bro, what are you talking about, man?
34944. Thank you. So is that the policy they're showing you?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Actually, policy and case law here. So we're just making sure we go through the case law and see what it says.
Okay.
Before we go any further.
Okay, cool.
And then if you want, I'll actually give you a copy of this so you have it. So you just.
I already got some pictures of it. They showed me earlier. Yeah, yeah. I was just explaining to him, I understand the policy. It's just, you know, the policy doesn't supersede the Constitution.
No, that's what we're saying, but there's actually a case, Sheets versus the city of Punta Gorda in Florida state statute. I just want to read it to make sure that everything applies.
I'm familiar with that. I don't think it's case law, though.
Actually, Zach, the Sheets case does count as case law because it was settled in the Middle District Courts of Florida. And seeing as you're in Florida, it would apply here. Now, the Sheets case did determine that if you go to a place like City Hall, or in this case, the tax collector's office, they can actually ask you to stop recording unless you get everyone's permission due to the sensitive nature and the type of business they have to do with the fact that they have to deal with private information such as social security numbers, home addresses, phone numbers, and names. They can actually say, sir, stop recording, get everyone's permission. And if you cannot get everyone's permission to use their likeness or record them, they can have you stop. And if you refuse...
I would look at Brandsburg versus Hayes and Smith versus Cummings.
I already did. He looked good.
Yeah, he was in here earlier. I saw him. Yeah.
I remember that beard. The goatee, I'm sorry. Oh, yeah, it's still out.
Body cam's been on this whole time?
Yes, sir.
All right, cool. So at this point, what I'm hoping for is that you guys just simply honor your oath and everyone go about their business. I'll probably be out of here shortly after you guys leave.
Just come here. Shut your stupid ass up.
Because I'm not intending to be here all day or get anyone's personal identifying information. If I do, I always cut that out. It's like what you do with, thank you. It's what you do with that information criminally, not the act of gathering it.
So, of course, we're here because they called. Now,
Yeah.
we're just looking to making sure that everything lines up as far as before we leave.
Yeah.
Take the right necessary actions.
Yeah.
Whether it's us leaving and you going and doing your thing, or us basically looking at case law and seeing what it tells us and what can and can't happen.
Okay.
That's where we're at right now.
Okay. And I don't know if you heard me earlier, I would just to help you out a little bit, I would look up Brandsburg versus Hayes and Smith versus Cummings. Those are the two case laws that I think are pretty, pertinent for this sort of situation.
Okay.
Now, Zach is wrong yet again. Because even though him and J-Town like to bring up Brandsburg v. Hayes, and they like to say it does grant them access to wherever the public goes, that's not necessarily true. It just states that the press have First Amendment protections when it comes to gathering public information that is generated for the public. But it also states this, that the First Amendment does not invalidate every incidental burdening of the press that may result from enforcement of civil or criminal statutes of general applicability, and that, quote, otherwise valid laws serving a substantial public interest may be enforced against the press as against others, despite the possibility that the burden may impose. Meaning, they can be trespassed. They can be kicked out of these public buildings. Just because they claim press does not mean it's a constitutionally protected activity. Because here at the tax collector's office, they are going off the...
Okay. You want a copy of this?
I already got a picture of it.
You don't want to have it for
No,
personal record?
I appreciate it. I'm good, though.
Okay.
Yeah.
So because of the fact that they do not want you in the building, audio recording, and that is a policy and procedure within there.
Just let's talk about this office, right?
Right.
OC.
They are asking
Okay.
you to leave, okay?
Okay.
If you're willing to leave and cooperate. If not, then they're going to want to press the issue even further. And obviously, we don't want to do that.
Yeah.
You've been cool with us. I know you're doing what you're thinking. That's fine. I'm all about it. But just, they are asking you to leave. Are you willing to leave on your own?
I'll leave under threat of arrest. That's the only way that I'll leave willingly. Or unwillingly, actually, I guess you could say. But
You're so dumb. You are really dumb. For real.
Okay.
What I would say in response to that is this is a public building. It's not like a private establishment.
Sure.
If it was a private establishment, they want you to leave for any reason. You blink the wrong way, whatever, they want you to leave, you have to leave. But in a public building, you have to, A, be breaking the law, or two, you have to be disrupting business.
Right, but you're now disrupting their policy that they have within here. Just because it's a public building, they're running a business. They have a policy that says within this sector of the building, particularly, you cannot audio and video record. That's just their policy.
Well, so they're calling this a business. It's actually a public service.
Okay.
So it's
She's
paid.
sent for charges.
Yeah.
Or so? Yeah. Okay, so she is threatening to have you arrested if you don't want to leave.
Who is that? Who's
That is the manager here of
What's
the
her
building.
name?
We can get that if you like.
Yeah, if you don't mind, I appreciate that.
Miss Lang. Miss Lang? Yeah, Miss Lang.
Miss Lane.
Miss Lang.
L-A-N.
Thank you.
Could you guys write her name down for me?
You want? You can write
or a business card?
You got it on video. You can write it. Okay. If he's willing to not leave, you want to press charges, correct? Excuse me. Okay. Yep.
Okay. So is that where we're at? If I don't leave, I'll be arrested?
Yes.
Pretty much, man. I mean, we got the case law here. It's not a public forum. I get what you're trying to do.
It's a limited public forum.
Yes, it is.
Yeah.
Yes, Zach. And as a limited public forum, they can set time, place, and manner restrictions. And they have those time, place, and manner restrictions. The manner being that you must get the consent of everybody in the office to record in there. And since you're not doing that, you're violating the policy, they can ask you to leave. And you are disrupting business. They had to call law enforcement to come deal with you. Meaning, management has to stop doing what they were doing. Could have been handling emails to help speed up the process to get people their licenses or.
So I'm just saying the publicly accessible areas, no restricted areas, it's a public office.
But this is not a public forum. So according to this rules, and it's according to case law, apparently.
Well, it's a limited public forum.
Yeah.
Yeah. They can designate areas that are private or restricted, which they've done. I can't go into those areas like that has a key card.
It kind of comes to the point, how much you want to gamble.
What was that?
How much you want to gamble.
Well, I don't want to gamble. That's why I'll leave under threat of arrest. But it's an unconstitutional policy. It doesn't supersede the Constitution.
I mean, according to this, it's been held up. And Sheets versus Punta Gorda, he tried to give it to you.
I don't know. I already got a picture of it. I appreciate it though.
You got a picture of all
But yeah,
copies?
the Punta Gorda one, I'm familiar with that one. That's not case law, not yet, and that's being disputed.
It's 2019. It's obviously been held up.
Well, that's because the Sheets is his name. That's because he was being disruptive and he was being loud and cussing people out, stuff like that. That's a different.
City passed ordinance prohibiting recordings inside certain government buildings, including City Hall, without consent. Right? First Amendment protects the right to gather information on what public officials do on public property, specifically the right to record in public interest. Right? This is Sheets I'm reading it for, right? City Hall is a limited public forum.
Mm-hmm.
The plaintiff entered City Hall with a body-worn camera and 2 employees refused consent. Plaintiff told them they could not return to City Hall for a year. Plaintiff filed a lawsuit against the city alleging violation of the First Amendment. Court upheld the constitutionality of the ordinance because it is, 1, reasonable in light of the legitimate business conducted at City Hall, and disruptions to that business are from unconsented recordings. And their viewpoint is neutral because it doesn't target any viewpoint, ideology, or opinion.
Well,
boom, roasted.
This is not expressive. I'm just in the process of gathering content. I'm not like protesting or holding a sign trying to get people to vote a certain way or anything like that. I'm just taking pictures.
Well, this is like you're saying too. This policy and procedure, which we're trying to give you, doesn't target any viewpoint either. So just because you're done any viewpoint, we're not targeting you because you're left, right, center.
I understand. I was using that example, but I'll give you another example. If Miss Lang, is that her name? Is Lang? Am I saying it correctly? If she wanted you guys to trespass me because they had a policy that says you can't have a red shirt in this building or this office, would you guys enforce that policy?
I mean, as long as it's not a violation of the Constitution, and the point of it's not targeting any racial, sexual orientation, religious beliefs. I mean,
I tell you, this guy's a real gem. He just put his foot in his mouth right there. He says as long as it doesn't contradict anything in the Constitution, he starts listing out a bunch of things, including religious beliefs. Well, religious beliefs or religion is under the First Amendment. Guess what else is under the First Amendment? Freedom of press. Man, this guy's not too bright. Look at the 2 guys on either side of him. They're looking down like, man, this guy in the middle is a complete moron.
No, they're looking down because they already know the case law. They've explained it to you. The policy you're violating is no different than the policy for the Punta Gorda City Hall. And because you are actually disrupting services, they have the right to trespass you. Right now, you're arguing a fallacy that doesn't exist. He has simply explained to you that if they were violating a civil right or a constitutional right, that, yeah, you would totally be in the right to fight it, and they couldn't do it, and they would not enforce that law. However, they are enforcing the policy and the laws that are already on the books and that are established.
She wanted to say, hey, you got a brown hat on. I don't see an issue with that.
Yeah, I mean, there's no issue here. It's just simply taking pictures and video peacefully. I'm not disrupting anybody, talking to anybody. If people approach me, I'll respond back, respectfully.
If you read that, it said, shall be a violation of the policy and procedure to record and or sound within the Orange County Tax Collector's Office without consent of all persons whose voice or image will be recording. Is now prohibited and doesn't apply to law enforcement activities.
Yeah,
It would be a violation of this policy or procedure if anyone who observed it be recording a video within the Orange County without consent of all persons whose voice or image is being recorded.
So there is no expectation, a reasonable expectation
No, I
of
get
privacy
that,
in
but
public.
that doesn't matter. We're not arguing that point.
Yeah.
We're arguing that this is the rules of the Orange County Tax Collector.
Yeah.
They're saying, hey, you're in violation of those rules. She's not saying she wants to press charges. I'm just saying how far you want to go with this.
Well, if you guys end up trespassing me or enforcing the trespass under threat of arrest, I'll leave under threat of arrest because I'm not looking to lose my freedom, and then I'll just have to, unfortunately, take it to civil court to challenge that policy to have it overthrown.
Well, we try to give you a copy of it. We're trying to provide you with some education.
So, I mean, you guys are giving me standing. I appreciate that. So that way, unfortunately, that's the only way to get any kind of change. You know, in this country nowadays, you have to take it to court.
Yeah, that's not really how it works. Tones Overthinks It did cover that you don't really need standing for something like this. You would just go to the courts and want to file a case to challenge it. But we've had enough of Zach's idiotic ramblings. Let's get to the good part where he gets trespassed.
So is there any business here I can help you with? Driver's license, tags, business tax, property tax?
Oh, no, nothing like
no
that.
No driver's license you need today?
Nothing like that, no ma'am. Who are you? I'm sorry.
I'm Christy Lane.
Christy Lane? Nice to meet you.
You too.
Yeah, so
what was your name?
My name's Zach.
Zach,
yeah.
Okay. So our policies say you can't be filming in here, so I'm going to have to ask you to leave.
Well, the policy doesn't supersede the First Amendment, freedom of press, under the Constitution.
Well, she said that she has the right to trespass you. I spoke with my legal. They said they have the right to trespass you.
Okay. Well, so we're at that point now. If I don't leave, I'll be under arrest. Because I'll leave under threat of arrest.
Okay. So she's already said you're trespassed from the office. Okay. This is a representative of the building. This is a security manager on duty.
Okay.
He would like to.
I have been authorized by property management to offer you to leave the premises. If you don't, I also have authorization to trespass you from the entire building, from the entire complex, which is 200, 250, 222 South Orange Avenue. So if you don't leave, we are going to go ahead with the trespass.
Okay. So if I don't leave, I'll be under arrest?
Pretty much.
So we're at that point right now. If I don't leave right now?
Yeah.
Okay. I'll leave under threat of arrest.
It's not threat of arrest. Right. You're on private property right now. So this is an office. You've already been told you're trespassed from here.
Okay.
This is private property. This is 200 South Orange.
Okay.
Private office complex. This guy's a representative of it. You're not in public area anymore. You're in private property. So
okay. So can I walk over there then?
No, you already been trespassed.
Okay. So if I go
trespass after warning.
So if I go in there, I'll be arrested?
Right now, you're trespassed after warning. You've been told you need to vacate.
I'll leave now.
Okay. Do you want to ID yourself?
No, I'm willing to. I'm willing to go.
I'm willing. A copy of the trespass warning?
No, I don't need it.
Okay, well, you're trespassed from both properties. Okay, so let's walk out.
Well, I just said I'll be willing to leave.
It doesn't matter.
Okay,
you're trespassed.
All right. For how long is the trespass for?
1 year.
1 year.
And we're going to end it here, folks. Zach takes his walk of shame and accepts he is trespassed from both the tax collector's office and the building itself that it resides in temporarily for up to 1 year. Now, as we can see, frauditors like to misconstrue not only Poster 7 and the federal rules for filming in federal buildings, but also now Supreme Court case law. If you guys like this video, please like, share, and subscribe. Leave a thumbs up and a comment because it helps me with the algorithm. And if you can, please consider becoming a member. And special thanks to all members of the news team. Without your guys' continuous ongoing support, I keep the channel going. So I want to thank you all personally from the bottom of my heart.